The Revolutionary Army exists for the purpose to oppose and overthrow the world government. And as it just so happens, the entire leadership of the world government is gathering as we speak in one location. Seems like the perfect opportunity for the revolutionaries to make their goal a reality. Hello, and welcome to a One Piece theory. So let me establish something from the start. This theory involves a fair bit of speculation, mainly about timing, but indulge me for a second. It is absolutely clear that the enemy of the revolutionaries is the organization that is the world government. So if all of your enemies were to gather in the same location all at once, would you not see it as an opportunity to strike? That is exactly what the Reverie is. An opportunity to throw the world into chaos and unbind people from the control of the world government. There is surely no better chance for Dragon to make a more effective strike. But what other evidence do we have to support this? Well, first of all, after the events of the Dressrosa arc, Dragon called for an assembly of all of the revolutionary leaders across the world. This means that serious business is about to go down, and it seems rather conveniently timed to the planned Reverie. So the full force of the revolutionary army is gathered. Check. Now we also know that the Blackbeard pirates attacked the island of Baltigo, which acted as the hidden base of the revolutionaries. En route to Whole Cake Island, the Sanji retrieval team of the Straw Hat Pirates received news that not only had Baltigo been discovered, but that it had been left in utter ruin by the Blackbeard pirates. Now there is an implied conflict between the two groups here, but nothing is mentioned about casualties or battles on either side. This is very important, because the Revolutionary Army has some big names attached to it, and the death or capture of these figures would certainly make world news. Manga even takes a few lines to mention this specifically to make a point out of it. So it can be assumed that the Revolutionary Army are still operating at full or close to full capacity. It's entirely possible that they'd evacuated during or before Blackbeard's invasion and made their way to Marijois to implement their plans for the Reverie. Even in the case that this was not part of Dragon's plan, he has now been forced out of hiding and will need to make a move before other factions have a chance to close in on them. So let's look at it this way. All of Dragon's enemies are gathered in the one spot, he has his full force on hand, and he is on the move. I believe that all of the above factors make it quite likely that the revolutionaries will make some sort of appearance at the Reverie, if not launch an attack outright. And there's another small hint to Dragon's presence. The only Reverie we've actually seen so far is one that took place 8 years ago, and the only topic of discussion that the readers were privy to is that of Monkey D. Dragon himself. This topic was brought up by a very obscure character, and I mean very obscure, known as Thalassa Lucas, king of the Elusia Kingdom in West Blue. He identified that Dragon posed a threat and in 4 to 5 years would become a serious adversary of the world government, a prediction that turned out to be accurate. Now this character has not been seen since this flashback, however a ship from the Elusia Kingdom was spotted en route to the Reverie in chapter 823. Now this is a really cool little detail put in by Oda, but it also flags the potential of Dragon's presence. Now some of you might think that I'm just joining two completely unrelated facts here, but Oda has gone out of his way to make sure that we know that this guy, who is only known for talking about Dragon that one time, is going to be present at the Reverie. It would be poetic justice for the man who warned them about Dragon 1 year to then come face to face with Dragon at the very next Reverie. Furthermore, narratively, there has never been a better time for the Revolutionary Army to make a move. They've been hidden in the background of One Piece for the entire span of the series. Oda has always positioned them in a state of biding their time, stockpiling and plotting. However now, he has made two very active moves in gathering the army leaders and destroying Baltigo. To me, this signals that their role in the series is soon to become very active, and we only really have two plot-related choices to indulge that activity. One is the upcoming battle with Kaido and Wano, and the other is the Reverie. So for all of the reasons I've already explained, the Reverie I think is the much more likely path. Although it is entirely possible that Oda is setting up an action even further in the future, or perhaps even just an alternative action to play side by side with the Reverie. For example, with the leaders of each nation of the world government at Marijois, this leaves the individual nations vulnerable to the revolutionaries. It may very well be that they launch a global offensive of of liberation while the monarchs are occupied discussing world affairs. Another element that makes an attack on Marie-Joie a bit less likely is the fact that there are a lot of allied characters that will be present. For example, the Nefertari family, the Riku family, and the royalty of Fishman Island, even Dalton from Drum Island. These are good characters, and I can't see Oda bringing much harm to them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that an attack on the Reverie cannot happen. Dragon seems like a fairly reasonable person from everything we've seen of him so far, and I doubt that he would just casually kill a whole ton of monarchs just cause. It would make the revolutionaries no better than the world government itself, so perhaps he could capture or incapacitate them, which would still throw the world into chaos. In any case, it is my belief that the timing of the revolutionary movements and the Reverie are far too coincidental. Dragon is a man with a plan, and I don't see him as the type to let an opportunity like this to simply slip by him. But that's where we're going to end this theory. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to like, favorite, or subscribe, and please do comment with who, what, or where you'd like to see in another One Piece theory.